Welcome to the Tico Times Weekly Digest, where we bring you up to speed as a new week starts in Costa Rica. I'm Alexander Villegas, Assistant Editor at the Tico Times, reporting from San Pedro, San Jose, Costa Rica. The Ministry of Public Security has asked the Judicial Investigation Police, or OIJ, for help in their investigation of two police officers accused of robbing foreigners. The local prosecutor's office requested that the OIJ carry out several investigative measures to determine the veracity of the facts that are circulating. The officers, identified by the last names of Falcón and Farrón, are accused of picking up two tourists in downtown Jaco on the Central Pacific coast and robbing them of $400, their cell phones, and then dropping them off at nearby Clarita Beach. The Costa Rican Tourism Board said that 7 European airlines that fly directly to Costa Rica are pleased with the demand and are planning to ramp up their offerings. This past January saw a nearly 10% increase in European tourists traveling to Costa Rica by air. Maria Amalia Ruelo, the Minister of Tourism, said that those figures motivate the public and private sectors to work hand in hand to ensure sustainable and quality tourism here in Costa Rica. Costa Rica joined 40 other countries in temporarily banning the Boeing 737 MAX 8 aircraft. In a statement issued on Wednesday, the Costa Rican Civil Aviation Authority said the protection of human life is a priority, and until the causes of the crashes in which those airplane models have been involved in are clarified, the measure will be maintained. Neither Avianca Costa Rica nor Volaris Costa Rica fly the aircraft, but Aeromexico, Southwest, American, and United Airlines all operate the 737 MAX and have flights to Costa Rica. A Latin American-wide Interpol raid against arms trafficking led to 560 arrests across Belize, Colombia, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Mexico, and Panama. The operation, called Trigger V, led to the seizure of 857 weapons, 40,000 bullets, 20 grenades, and police and military uniforms. 2 AK-47s were seized in Costa Rica, one of which came from a Middle Eastern country, according to the Interpol database. Alex Vanegas, the 62-year-old Nicaraguan marathoner who was jailed for nearly 4 months for protesting Daniel Ortega's government, fled to Costa Rica shortly after he was released from prison. Vanegas was one of 100 protesters released on February 27th before the government started talks with the opposition. Vanegas was known for running with signs demanding that Ortega step down or with signs remembering victims of the crisis. Vanegas was briefly imprisoned 5 times before his 4-month detention in November. A photo exhibit in Jaco aimed to connect people with the divine feminine. The exhibit featured 22 photos of women in nature by Swedish photographer Paula Simons. The exhibit took place on International Women's Day, and each photograph was accompanied by a poem where Simons explained the message behind each image. Simons, a former fashion photographer, said she felt her work often put forward an unhealthy view of women and that her work has evolved over time. Now that she's living in Costa Rica, she's connected with nature, and that shows in her work. And on this week's Off the Eaten Path, William Eyre ditches the restaurant for the Santana Farmers Market. Like every farmer's market, there's a ton of fresh produce, but you can also find a bunch of trinkets, a pet fish, and some of the best vigorones in the country. Be sure to get there early though, because they might run out. The vigorón there starts off with a bed of shredded cabbage and boiled yuca. It's topped off with fried pork meat, crispy pork skin, and pico de gallo. Be sure to try out some of the pupusas too, and wash it all down with some mozote, a thick drink that Costa Rican grandmothers swear will cure an upset stomach. That's it for this week's Digest. This week's Digest was made possible thanks to the Tico Times 5% Club. This club consists of readers who donate at least $5 a month to keep our newsroom operational and independent. If you join the 5% Club, you also receive exclusive Tico Times content, like free Tico Times ebooks and Facebook live chats with the staff. Help keep this newsroom running, and for more news throughout the week, check out ticotimes.net.